What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the areas where you're going to find fish the most. When I'm out on a lake, there's 5 areas I look for every time I go to a new lake, or even lakes I've been at, that I like to work very hard, and because I know that the probability that there's fish in there is high. So I'm going to go over these 5 areas with you to help you increase your chances of putting more fish in the boat. So area number 1 is a flat. Now you may be asking, what is a flat? Well, a flat is adjacent to deep water, um, kind of offshore a little bit, but it's really just a big area where the depth doesn't change very much. I mean, it might go down a little bit, but it's really just it's a flat area. And the key point about these areas is there's a lot of bait fish, stuff like that, where these fish are going to feed. And usually the flat covers the majority of the water. So if you can fish in a flat, you're going to find big fish. And sometimes it can be very hard to fish a flat because it is such a broad area. So I would suggest using fast moving baits, something to where you can cover a lot of water. But I kid you not, you will catch some of the biggest fish you've ever caught in flats. Another area where there is a lot of fish, and that is what they call a rip wrap. What that is it's a bunch of rocks or cinder blocks that are thrown in the water to help stabilize structure, to kind of get away from areas eroding. And you're going to find these in places where you might see bridges, or you might see long roads along the body of water, and you're just going to see tons of rocks. It could be a pier that you can walk out on and fish from. Those areas where they have those ripraps, those rocks, are excellent places to fish. They're usually in shallower water. It can get deeper in these areas, but they are an excellent place for bait to live. So you're going to find minnows, you're going to find bugs, insects, all that stuff. You're going to find crawdads in there. These are all the stuff the fish are going to eat. So if you can find some of these areas, I would fish it hard and heavy. Number 3, I am going to call out bridges. What makes bridges so special? Well, usually they can be deeper bodies of water, deep holes. They cause shade and shelter. They usually have the rocks down there. For whatever reason, it's like proven scientifically. I'm not a scientist or anything, but it is scientifically proven. That's a fact. You can Google that. That bridges hold fish, especially when you're out there in the middle of the day and it's hot and that sun's beaming down and you're not catching anything. A bridge is a great place to look. I've caught a vast majority of limits under bridges in just that one area. For whatever reason, I don't know how to explain it, but if you see a bridge and it looks like there's a good body of water under that bridge, or maybe it's leading into a bigger body of water, it's a creek or something, excellent place. I would highly recommend fishing that hard. And for spot number 4, I have drop-offs. What is a drop-off? A drop-off is where the shallow water drops off into really deep water, usually at a pretty steep slope. Now, the cool thing about this is the fish usually go shallow to feed, depending on the time of year and stuff, but you're going to find them in that middle area where it starts to slope. They're just going to be sitting there waiting for bait to come by. So if you can identify a drop off, especially when you're having a hard time catching fish, you're going to increase your chances. There's a good chance you're going to catch fish in that drop off. The way to fish drop off, maybe like a drop shot, a jig. You want to fish it slow. You want to make sure that bait gets in front of that fish's face because they're most likely going to eat it. The downsides about fishing drop-offs is it could be a little bit slower, or if they're really active, they might be in the shallows or in the bigger body of water. So if you find a drop-off and you fish it pretty hard, you're not getting anything, move on to one of the other 5 spots. The number 1 spot I have for you today is something you probably hear all the time, but you really might not know what it means. It's thrown around loosely in a lot of videos and stuff that you see. But it really just it means the same thing, and that is brush piles. So what is a brush pile? Well, when you think about it, a brush pile really is anything. It could be a mound of rocks underwater. It could be a submerged tree. It could be bushes. It could be a shopping cart that someone dropped in the middle of the ocean. Maybe not that much, but but anyway, it's something in the water where it's not it's just structure. It's offshore, and fish use it for shelter. Now you can identify these brush piles pretty easy. You might see some overhanging trees, where maybe a tree died and it fell in the water, and it's deeper water, so those fish are going to use that for shelter. Maybe you're fishing and you got snagged, and you're like, "Man, this sucks. It just broke off here. Why would I want to keep casting there?" Well, try fishing it, and you never know. You might get lucky. I can't count how many times I've broken off, and I kept continuing to fish that same area, and I've pulled out a lot of fish. I think something that's very important that while you're fishing, if you aren't getting snagged, you're not going to catch fish. I mean, that's where the fish are, man. They're going to be in those snags. So I highly suggest if you're out there, expect to get snags, expect to retie. It's just a part of the game. If you want to go around and just cast and reel it back in, and you're going to get bit. It will happen eventually, but you're not going to get bit as much. It's just proven. It's just proven, man. So if you're out on your lake, I would highly recommend trying to identify these areas. And when you're paddling in, when you're driving by, just look around, be aware of your surroundings, kind of keep mental notes of where these areas are, and try to hit every spot and see which one's working that day. And the cool thing is instead of just paddling around casting everywhere, you're already gonna know where you want to be. If one spot's not working, it's like, okay, there's a bridge over there. I'm gonna head over there, fish that. Okay, the bridge isn't working. You know what? There's a tree down there that's fell in the water. I'm gonna go over there and try that. So if you can utilize your time, identify these areas, and then work those areas hard, you're gonna put more fish in the boat. That's just how it works, man. I want to thank you guys for taking time to watch my video. I hope you learned something. I just share my experiences, what I'm learning along the way. I enjoy doing this, and I just wanted to share with everyone. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comments. I will give you an answer. Do not worry about it. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a great day. God bless. See you next time.